Ryan and Alex Parker, and I just interrupted a conversation, and I thought instead of interrupting the conversation, why don't we continue? What were you just saying?
They had asked if we have a permit.
They is?
Alex and Ryan.
Okay.
We do not have a permit to be here. We went to the city about a month ago, to the city clerk's office. We were told that you no longer need a permit for protests or marches in Atlantic City, as long as you're not blocking traffic. So that's what we're going by. We called the mayor's office yesterday to confirm this. The mayor's aide said that is true. It's not written. We weren't able to obtain it in writing. We tried to do that as well yesterday. We weren't able to get it in writing. But that's the word.
And I'm going to try and clarify this. What I heard you saying earlier is that 4 weeks ago, when you called, you needed no permit, and in the interim, you were under the understanding that the rule has been changed, so not in writing, and now you need a permit. Is that what you said?
What they said was Local 54 changed the need for people to get a permit because Local 54 has so many marches. They didn't want to have to deal with that. So you're free to have a march, to have a protest without asking for permission for a permit. It's not in writing anywhere, so we don't know. There's a lot of confusion. I called the mayor's office to confirm it. They said that's how that's going. They also told me yesterday that in Atlantic City you do need a permit to protest on the sidewalk. That came from the mayor's legal aid. So that was a different conversation with a different person, another story. So I'm not really sure as far as that goes. We couldn't find anything in writing about needing a permit to protest.
So do you feel you're getting conflicting information just
Absolutely.
because of confusion, or do you think you're getting a runaround?
I think we're getting the runaround intentionally. We just want answers. It's not that hard.
That's kind of the question. And you've been involved since the beginning of the Occupy movement?
Correct.
And that goes back to New York also, if I'm not mistaken,
That goes back to
correct?
the first week. Yep. I was in New York the first week.
Very good. And we're standing here. You were talking to Ryan and Alex Parker when I interrupted to butt in on your conversation. Ryan and Alex, what brings you here today? What's your involvement? What's your interest? Where are you trying to go?
Well, I'm standing here today in solidarity with over 1,500 movements that have gone worldwide. And basically, what my personal goal here is to see that the means to work and the product of our labor, the working class worldwide, is brought back to our control. You know, there's no reason why a small group, an elite group, the 1%, should have control over the resources of our planet. We're all here together, and many people might see this as like some form of socialism or capitalism I'm promoting, but no, what I feel I'm promoting is something called humanity, where there's people starving right here in Atlantic City, up in Harlem, in Pleasantville, Tunisia, Nicaragua, El Salvador. There's people starving all over the world, while there's people at the tops of these buildings who are eating caviar and drinking martinis.
One of the most common threads going on the avenue behind us is all the people beeping horns. And it's everything from beat-up old used cars to brand-new Lincolns and Caddies and Mercedes. I don't see it as an economic thing so much as a statement for what I'm observing on the street. If you could economically place this town in the comfort zone, where do you see it?
You're going to have to explain that a little bit.
Where's Atlantic City economically? We have now about 30 some years of billions of dollars of investment. Where do you think the failure is in the fact that we've not been socially successful in raising the people? What do you think the failure
Join
is?
us.
Well,
Occupy Wall
it
Street.
goes back a long distance. You can look at ties
Excellent.
but you can look at the evolution of human progress all the way back to feudalism, where we have a poor majority who is forced to do the majority of the work, the labor, the actual physical work done to sustain the country, while they are living off of bread and butter. And I just don't see how there's inequalities with the amount of resources we have, the abundance of resources we have on this planet. So if I was to put Atlantic City into a category, all you'd have to do is walk down these streets and see how poor this place really is, and then walk into the casinos and see where all the money's at. It's clearly not that way, it's this way.
Right, it's a place of extremes, basically.
Yeah, we have a liquor store on every corner. We don't have any grocery stores. We have a pawn shop, 3 pawn shops right across the street. But
Actually, we have 4.
4. But we have people just a
5.
few blocks over with inadequate nutrition. And it's sickening. It really is. And it's finally about time that people, realize these inequalities and do something about it. I could get into the actual specific politics and the actual economic policies, but I think it's broader than that because it's not just Atlantic City, it's not just the United States, it's the whole world over. The working class being exploited by an elite minority.
Anything you want to add, Alex?
That we're all human, we're all the same thing. Why should one group of humans be able to control the rest of us? We're all the same thing. We're all equal, and in the end, we're all going to be equal.
What do you think of the court ruling where a corporation is now a human? The corporation is a person.
No, it's ridiculous. It's just another move by, this corporate elite that I've mentioned before, putting more of a reinforcement on their power, locking it more into place. And you can see throughout history, it's just a steady movement of corporate control concreting itself all throughout the world. I mean, now we have talks of a one world currency, with the IMF, things like that. And you can just see it's constantly a move to just concentrate power into fewer hands. And the dynasties that are trying to do that go back to the oil industry that began in the early